What's up, guys? It's John here with National Sports Entertainment, and I didn't realize, I forgot that in about 12 hours begins the divisional round of baseball, and I was looking at the games, and I like this better because the odds of a team being swept, well, I do think one of these four teams will get swept, probably the Mariners. I don't think the Phillies are getting swept, the Guardians, or either. I don't think any of them are really. The Mariners is the only one I'd look out for. I have a theory, like I said, so I'm going to pick the game, and this is an interesting one. So this one I'm using a little bit of symbolism, and I noticed it from somebody that had pointed it out in the chat, and it's Zach, and he had pointed out how going into tonight's game that the Raiders, had 54 wins against the Chiefs, and the Chiefs obviously won Super Bowl 55. And I really thought that was a cool observation, and he was really over the target. I think he had the right idea. They repeat these events. That's why I posted that video about Kobe. I don't think it's a coincidence. So when I realized, I remembered that from earlier, and then I was looking at this matchup, and sure enough, and I noticed this a lot with pitching. You'll notice this a lot with pitching. Their numbers will add up to 99, the two pitchers. But I did find it interesting that we have 55 versus 54. Now, 55, the Chiefs, the Super Bowl, just won. And 54, that was the amount of wins the Raiders had just lost. So, again, this is newer type of logic. I'm trying to combine symbolism with other things. But based off of that, I honestly believe Ranger Suarez is winning, and the Phillies are going to win at least this game of the series. I'm not saying they're going to win the series. And should they not, like I said, with this system with baseball, it works out pretty well because your team would essentially have to be swept. Not that it can't happen, but with division rivals, I'm from Philly. I know how these fans are. There's going to be fans from Philly at these games, so it's probably going to go 4 games, maybe even to the 5. So in this case, I do like the Phillies, and it's really nice because we're getting some really good odds. This is going to be to win. We'll do to win 25 here. I was going to do a little bit lower because it's a higher payout, but I have a good feeling about it. I think it makes it interesting. Like I said, the Braves probably win this series, but I do think that in this particular matchup, based off of that number, and based off the fact, again, they need to get these fans excited. Going up 1-0 will do that for them. They just swept the, I believe it was, who did they just sweep? A pretty good team. Not a great team, but anyway, they just swept the team. The Cardinals. They just swept the Cardinals. And I do think Freeman, obviously, going up against the Dodgers makes sense. Friedman going up against the Braves makes sense. So I think, again, the series goes Braves. But I don't think they take it 3-0. I think it's probably a 2-1, or maybe even... I think they would take it like 3-1, or it could even go to 5 games. So that's just what I believe. Like I said, it doesn't mean 100%, but the 55 and 54 right after those two teams just played, and Zach had pointed out the 55 representing the Chiefs and the 54 representing the Raiders, I found interesting. Now, again, does that mean that this time it's flipped? Well, we don't know. I guess we'll learn, but I like between the odds, the fact that I don't see the Phillies being swept, and those numbers I found really interesting. I just wanted to get this video out, as I like to get all my picks out so you guys can see them, and just who I believe the narrative is pointing towards. And also Schwarber, I think they're going to want to give him at least a nice game or two, just because he got decimated by Judge so bad. Judge ran away with the record. People don't even remember Schwarber came in second place. So I think a lot is pointing to a Game 1 Phils win, and if not, I think they can take Game 2, or like I said, they're not getting swept. But for the value, I would definitely take them in this game, just straight up. You could add the 1.5, or if you're feeling froggy, do the alternate. But I just like the straight up game, to win the game. All right, everybody, take care and happy earnings.